You've selected a show from the Podcast Jukebox, a DIY podcast network.
It's Will Shawn Podcast. The internet cried out for 2 more blowhards, and they courageously answered that call. Armed with the weapon of wit, each week they're joined by guests to discuss movies, television, pop culture, and anything else that's pissing them off. Take it away, boys.
I'm Will Link.
And I'm Sean David.
And this is Will Shawn Podcast.
For both the alt-right and the alt-left. How you doing, Will?
I've been dealing with a lot of loss lately.
Like death?
Lost my bar.
Okay.
Lost Orphan Black.
Okay.
I mean, this is getting ridiculous.
So no one died?
Not yet.
Okay, well, you have something to look forward to then.
It's going to be building
Summer's not over. Your August surprise is yet to come.
Yeah, my August surprise. And I'm saying a lot of things are ending. We need a time of new beginnings. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Well, you know, things are looking up for you. You got a trip coming up.
And that's it.
That's something. Come on. Got something to look forward to.
That's true.
If you don't have something to look forward to, you might as well just kill yourself.
That's right. That's why I have to now constantly plan trips. Otherwise, I'll kill myself.
Well, I mean, there's TV shows you like. You got The Defenders. You got a few more episodes of that left.
Defenders is kind of rough.
Season 2 of The Mick on Fox. It's coming soon.
Well, let me ask you.
Yeah?
What's going on in the world of Will Shawn Podcast?
Nothing good. Nothing to look forward to. Just want to continue to thank all of our listeners. I know that now with Will's Orphan Black podcast ending, we will probably hemorrhage all of those listeners very quickly. So
they'll forget that they're supposed to listen to this,
So that's why we are just making a plea. If you are one of those folks, to make sure you are subscribed to our podcast, make sure you are following us on Twitter, liking us on Facebook, and leaving us a star rating and a comment on iTunes.
I will say that the Orphan Black listeners, oh my God, they were so wonderful. They sent me so many wonderful messages.
No cash, though?
No cash.
Okay.
But they sent me and Megan very nice messages like, oh, I've loved watching you guys over the years. Like, all these very, very sweet, good people.
It would be good if you can find another show that you could then go and do a podcast about.
Well, this may be happening.
All right.
And who is our sponsor this week?
Television. Will somebody please just turn us on?
I don't know why that got to me so much. Maybe because we're talking about TV
We
today.
are. Special episode.
This is our special episode.
One of two.
You're going to have 2 of these in a row this week. Or
this month. Your August surprise.
This is the one we do every year where we tell you who's nominated for the Emmys and we tell you who is going to win the Emmys. Predictions we make not nearly as well as we make for movies.
We are just throwing darts at a board here, people. Let's not kid ourselves.
With the Emmys, it's I've always had a lot more trouble figuring out the Emmys. Maybe it's because the way the voting system is different. Maybe it's because with movies you don't have repeat nominees like you do with Emmys, and that's something you have to take into account with the Emmys.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
We will get to her.
Yeah.
But should we just get going?
Let's just go, because when we do these solo episodes, we always intend for them to run short, but they never do.
So we will start with television movie.
Okay.
Which is separated from television miniseries or limited series.
But you all knew that already.
The nominees are Black Mirror, San Junipero.
Okay.
I didn't watch it. Dolly Parton's Christmas of Many Colors, Circle of Love. The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks. Sherlock, The Lying Detective. And The Wizard of Lies. Sean, how many of these have you seen?
None.
No.
But I'm ready. I didn't actually. So that Sherlock Holmes one is the final episode of Sherlock Holmes. They're each treated as their own movies. Which I did not watch that. I heard it was not very good.
It's interesting how there are these, like, quote-unquote series, like Black Mirror and Sherlock.
Well, they're like weird anthology series.
But each episode is considered its own movie.
San Junipero, I know, is considered one of the better Black Mirror episodes.
The only reason I don't watch Black Mirror is a time reason, not I think I dislike it. And I've thought of watching this particular episode because I've heard
And like I said,
thing.
they're all standalone. The only thing I can see her upsetting this category is The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks is an Oprah-backed project.
But you know what? Nobody watched it. That got like zero buzz when it came out. Not that anyone watched The Wizard of Lies either.
That was
other
the Madoff.
HBO
That's
one.
the Madoff movie, directed by Barry Levinson with Robert De Niro.
I did watch The Wizard
Is
of
it good?
Lies. It's solid, but
It was on the
forgettable.
airplane, but instead of that, I watched the first episode of Pretty Little Lies. Big Little Lies.
yes.
Yeah.
You made a better choice. Wizard of Lies, what happened was there was one morning I woke up at 5 a.m. because I couldn't sleep, and I just watched Wizard of Lies for 2 hours, and it was fine.
Okay. So what are we saying here? Do we have any predictions?
My prediction is Black Mirror, because this is like this is a talked about episode. I know about this episode without ever even seeing
And
it.
it's only an hour.
Is
it one of the Netflix episodes?
I believe so.
Okay.
So it's like, it's also like the hip one of
Okay.
these nominees. So I say Black Mirror.
All right, moving on.
Yeah, you're not even
I
making
got
a
no
guess.
opinion
You're not
on
going
this.
with Dolly Parton
Oh.
and the Christmas of Many Colors, Circle of Love.
What is this, some sort of Lion King mashup?
I'm not exactly sure, but never bet against Dolly Parton. Variety Talk Series. And the nominees are Full Frontal with Samantha Bee, Jimmy Kimmel Live, Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, The Late Late Show with James Corden, Real Time with Bill Maher, and The Late Show with Stephen Colbert.
So I'm torn here. I think it's either going to be John Oliver, who won last
He
year,
won last year.
or Stephen Colbert, who has been really finding his groove in the last year.
Colbert has, there's kind of been this resurgence of Colbert. People love his takedowns of Trump.
Yeah.
I think he's benefited by the fact he's on every night.
And his
oppo-
ratings are up. Yeah.
Yeah. I noticed no Jimmy Fallon.
Nope.
Good.
And no Seth Meyers, who I actually think if Seth Meyers were in this category, would really throw a wrench into things, because Seth Meyers, I think, is slowly taking over the mantle of what Jon Stewart was doing on a regular basis.
Well, because his what are they called?
Closer Looks.
Closer Looks.
And-
But here's the thing. Do you watch Seth Meyers?
No, I watch his Closer
You watch
Looks.
his Closer Looks. I watch his Closer Looks.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think people actually sit down and watch John Oliver.
But it's a different thing completely. John Oliver, you viewed almost like you would a half hour of a sitcom in a way, because it's such a constructed thing. You don't have the celebrity interviews. You don't have all the other.
But
that's why I think Stephen Colbert, he's doing this great work within that traditional format of the late night talk show.
I think I'm gonna go with Oliver because one, I think the voters, like, they remember those Oliver things, they stick in their head more, and two, Oliver won last year.
Yeah.
And I think they're just gonna.
No, if you're going to say that, you're wrong. That's like saying a kitten is the same as a Nazi. Sure, it sounds funny, but it's just not true.
See, you got that memorized. You probably saw it once.
That's not even a thing. I just made that up. That's me freestyling John Oliver.
But the kitten
Kittens and the
thing.
rhythms, yeah. All right,
what
I'm
about
going to lean
Samantha Bee,
Oliver.
though?
I'm going to. I think she's a little too fringy,
A little too TBS.
little too TBS.
And
Characters want it.
that's the thing, right? It's-
Even I, who I love her show, I forget to watch it half the time, and then I got to catch up with it a week and a half later.
Characters Welcome is USA.
So what was TBS?
TBS is very funny.
Doesn't matter. Eventually, there will be no TV. There will only be the Borg. I'm going to lean with John Oliver with you, but I wouldn't be shocked if Colbert won.
And I actually wouldn't even be shocked if Samantha Bee won.
Okay.
Give it to a lady.
Will Link, you can email at the real Will Link for those radical opinions.
But I think it'll be Oliver. Okay. Supporting actress in a limited series or movie. And the nominees are Judy Davis, Feud, Betty and Joan. Laura Dern, Big Little Lies. Jackie Hoffman, Feud, Betty and Joan. Regina King, American Crime. Michelle Pfeiffer, The Wizard of Lies. Shailene Woodley, Big Little Lies. Little Lies going on
A lot of
there.
feuding and lies. Now, you watched Feud and you watched Big Little Lies. I've only seen the pilot.
Yes.
Did we miss one or was it one more?
No, that's it.
Okay.
Yes.
So what are you leaning towards here? Oh, you saw everything in this category.
I didn't see American Crime.
Now,
And
did
I know-
Regina King win last year for this?
I believe she won 2 years ago
Okay.
for this. Michelle Pfeiffer, you got to say, is out just because these other people are giving these longer performances. I mean, this is a tricky one because you wonder if the Feud people or Big Little Lies people end up canceling each other out in any way. Judy Davis is the more well-known actress, but I think Jackie Hoffman, who plays Joan Crawford's longtime assistant and caretaker Mamacita, is a more memorable character. I think people really responded to that. On the Big Little Lies side, I don't think anyone's that crazy about Shailene Woodley. But Laura Dern, who is also on Twin Peaks now, is, I think, fresh in people's head. Laura Dern's having a really good year overall.
Laura Dern is always having a good year.
I guess she is.
Yeah. And I feel like Big Little Lies will get more attention just because it's a little bit more star-studded. Feud feels like the trashy spinoff to the OJ show.
But it's actually very thoughtful. It's very emotional and never underestimates Hollywood's capacity to reward things about Hollywood. Yeah. I'm gonna go out on a limb and go Jackie Hoffman.
I'm gonna say Laura Dern.
Okay, just to be different.
That's it. Well, I didn't watch Feud, so.
Supporting actor in a limited series or movie, and the nominees are Bill Camp, The Night Of, Alfred Molina, Feud, Betty and Joan, Alexander Skarsgård, Big Little Lies, David Thewlis, Fargo, Stanley Tucci, Feud, Betty and Joan, Michael K. Williams, The Night Of.
It's a good category.
This is a good category. These are a lot of terrific actors. I'm taking out The Night Of people. I feel like the Night Of's moment passed. I might be picking it for something later on, but The Night Of was over a year ago.
But I don't hear a lot of people talking about Feud, really, you know.
I keep getting emails inviting me to a lot of Feud Emmy events.
You think they're pushing really hard on it?
I think they're pushing really hard on it. Honestly, if I were to give the award out of these, Alfred Molina might be my favorite, actually. I thought he was excellent in Feud in a different kind of role because he had to deal with these two often demonstrative women, but and he kind of had to balance them out. But, you know, David Thewlis was also really great as the villain on Fargo this season, and everyone remembers his teeth. His teeth played a big role in the season.
I didn't know. Well, I mean, a nose won for Nicole Kidman, so why wouldn't he win for David Thewlis? I really like Bill Camp from The Night Of. I mean, I think
he's great.
Yeah, you just think it's been too long, people don't remember it?
That's my take on it. Bill Camp, I've also enjoyed his reoccurring role on The Leftovers, where he played maybe God, but no. I might bring up The Leftovers a little bit later. I'm sure you will. This is a tough one.
See, what's tough with all these categories is if you haven't seen everything, you're kind of just casting blind.
But here's the thing. I think I'm going to go out on a limb here, or maybe not out on a limb. I don't necessarily think Alfred Molina, people feel the same way about Alfred Molina's performance in this as I do. I'm going to go with Stanley Tucci, because him as Jack Warner is the showier performance.
Right.
He's, of all the ones I've seen, and I've seen all these performances, I think his is the most bombastic and showy. And I think more people watched Feud than some of these other ones. So I'm going to go with Tucci.
Sounds good.
Okay, you're really doing a good job picking these.
I'm operating with limited information here.
Okay. Well, this is one I know you've seen a lot of people in. Supporting actress in a comedy series.
Okay.
And the nominees are Kate McKinnon, Saturday Night Live; Vanessa Bayer, Saturday Night Live; Leslie Jones, Saturday Night Live; Anna Klumsky, Veep; Judith Light, Transparent; Catherine Hahn, Transparent.
Well, since Vanessa Bayer always does the bar mitzvah boy, I guess we just have to give it to her.
Do you think she'll win?
No.
What do you? Because this is one I think you've seen all the performances.
Yes. If it's one of the SNL people, it would be Kate McKinnon,
who won last year.
Yes.
Which, in a rare, SNL doesn't usually win, nor do they ever usually get this many nominees.
Well, there have been way more on the radar recently. even though I have a lot of problems with Transparent, I could see Judith Light winning for this category. They may be like, okay, we gave it to SNL last year, now let's give it back to a real actor.
Anna Klumsky, I don't necessarily know if she deserves it for this season of Veep, but 2 seasons ago, she certainly deserved it. Or like, you know, and 2 seasons ago, she certainly deserved it, and she didn't get it.
Yeah.
I don't understand why she hasn't won. My gut is saying to go with Kate McKinnon. You know what people remember? They remember her as Hillary Clinton playing the piano, you know, singing Hallelujah. And not that
But is that an acting performance on the same level?
But that's what they're going to think about. And they're going to think about, like, they're gonna think about Hillary Clinton. This is them giving Hillary
Is that what it
president.
is? This is the equivalent? I'm going to say Judith Light.
Okay. I want to talk about Leslie Jones real fast.
Okay.
What do you think of Leslie Jones?
I really enjoy her, but I think the problem with Leslie Jones is that she's always playing a version of Leslie Jones, that she's not doing character work the way some of the other performers on SNL are.
Leslie Jones, I think, has no range.
Yeah.
I
There's nothing wrong with that. She's very good at what she does.
I thought she was funny when she first came on. I'm not that crazy about Leslie Jones. I'm not that crazy about her not being able to get through a sketch without flubbing it. I am not a big Leslie Jones fan.
At the Real Will Link.
But why? I mean, I cannot be a Leslie Jones
And you
fan.
can. You just, to reap what you sow.
I just don't think she's that funny.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I wouldn't give it to her, but I would. You never know.
Next page.
People like her. You know what? It's.
You're doing what's that hand gesture?
I'm giving you a hand gesture of I think.
It's okay to open the window?
Yes.
Okay. You read the next category while I go do that. This is how the sausage is made.
Yes. The nominees for supporting actor in a comedy series: Alec Baldwin, Saturday Night Live; Louis Anderson, Baskets; Ty Burrell, Modern Family; Titus Burgess, Unbreakable, Kimmy Schmidt; Tony Hale, Veep; Matt Walsh, Veep. Okay, this is a weird category to me. Louis Anderson won last year.
Yeah.
I feel like that's not going to happen again.
No.
Tony Hale has won multiple times. Again, I think Tony Hale is great on Veep, but
Now,
I feel like there are other people on Veep who have not gotten maybe the credit they deserve.
Like Matt Walsh.
Like Matt Walsh.
Yeah.
What's funny about this is Alec Baldwin is as if he's a member of the cast.
Yeah.
He's nominated for Saturday Night Live. I think they're going to give it to him just because the Trump stuff.
And it would piss Trump off so much.
It would piss Trump off. You think Trump would tweet about it?
More than a 50% chance.
That's a problem. That is more than a 50% chance. There's always a Modern Family actor hanging around.
Yeah, but I feel like we've kind of... that's everyone's just kind of happy with the show. It doesn't seem to be dominating the way it did a few years ago.
No.
Yeah.
It hasn't won Best Series in 2 seasons. Yeah. But I think it's funny that they always put a spot in for... Honestly, I think Titus Burgess could be the funniest of these people.
Yeah, and
the
he could sneak in there and take it. I would like to see Matt Walsh get it, but I could see Titus Burgess getting the or the award. But do we know how many people watched Kimmy Schmidt?
Well, that's the thing with all these Netflix shows.
You never know what's going on.
It strikes me Netflix doesn't win a lot of awards, and I wonder if people are watching Netflix as much as we think they're watching Netflix.
Doesn't matter if they're watching, as long as they're paying for Netflix, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
As far as Netflix is concerned.
I'm not paying for Netflix.
You're part of the problem.
I am part of the problem.
I'm not paying for it either.
But yeah, I feel like there's a reason other than someone from our next category, they don't win a lot of awards, Netflix.
Well, maybe part of that is also that they have shows that are good but not yet great.
Well, I have another theory, which we will get to soon. Although I think Netflix is going to win some stuff this year.
House of Cards Season 5.
Yeah, I did not watch. Supporting actress in a drama.
Wait, so what did we settle on? Alec Baldwin?
I'm going Alec Baldwin.
Okay.
Yeah. Supporting actress in a drama series. And the nominees are...
Christine Baranski.
No.
Okay.
No. Ann Dowd, The Handmaid's Tale.
And Dowd the Leftovers.
She's great on The Leftovers. Samira Wiley. She's also, by the way, Ann Dowd is also nominated for The Leftovers for the guest actor role.
Oh, she's considered a guest actor?
By season 3, she
Okay.
is. She's only in one episode, season 3, where she plays the Secretary of Defense.
Okay.
If you watch The Leftovers, that amuses you. Samira Wiley, The Handmaid's Tale. Uzo Aduba, Orange is the New Black. Millie Bobby Brown, Stranger Things. Chrissy Metz, This Is Us. Thandie Newton, Westworld. Now, here is something interesting about this category. There are no repeat people from last year in this category.
Interesting. Uzo wasn't nominated last year?
Uzo used to be nominated for comedy, but not Orphan Black, Orange is the New Black switched.
Because there are a bunch of wily bastards over there at Litchfield?
Because it's not a funny show.
No.
And Uzo is not giving a comedic performance, really. Last year, you had 3 Game of Thrones actresses.
Okay.
And this is the first place you're seeing where the lack of Game of Thrones is. You had 3 Game of Thrones actresses. You had Maura Tierney for The Affair. You had Constance Zimmer for Unreal. All 5 of those people could have won. It would have been great. And they gave it to fucking Maggie Smith. Well, guess what? Maggie Smith's not around anymore. Maggie Smith is dead.
We killed her.
So now
We know who this is going to, though.
Do we?
Millie Bobby Brown.
That's what I'm thinking.
Unless people are no, because the show's coming back. Everyone's hyped for it. No, there hasn't been like a Stranger Things backlash.
And I think people
And she knows how to play the game.
She does. I've met her. I've interviewed her. She knows how to play the game. She is, you meet her, she is super smart.
Yeah.
She knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
I also think she's quite good on the show.
Yes. I know Thandie Newton gave a great performance on Westworld.
She gave I would argue, the best performance on Westworld, if only because where Westworld was a show, and I know we're going to get into it more later, but Westworld was a show
about things that people did.
It wasn't a show about emotion as much as maybe plot and mystery, but Thandie Newton's character was the emotional center.
Which is weird because they probably wanted Evan Rachel Wood to be, and she somehow hijacked the series.
Well, Thandie Newton, she's remembering a dead child, and she's like...
Who isn't?
She's the first one to really get self-aware.
Like 11.
Now, the thing is, if Millie Bobby Brown hadn't been nominated, and for some reason I wasn't sure if she'd sneak in with a nomination, I was thinking Chrissy Metz for This Is Us.
Yeah.
Going down the...
Do you watch that?
I do watch This Is Us.
Okay.
This Is Us is the one pleasant show I watch.
Now, that's the one with Bruce Willis and Michelle Pfeiffer, right?
That's Story of Us.
Ah, okay.
What I mean by it's the one pleasant show, it's the one show I watch where it's not like people are gonna, although somebody dies, but people are gonna die, or it's gonna be like the crime and everyone's like it's just a show about good people trying to be good people.
It's not about the inequalities in the criminal justice system?
No.
Okay.
So Chrissy Metz, she's
about ethics in Old West journalism.
No. Chrissy Metz, she's a bigger girl.
Yeah.
And she, and that's key into her storyline. And I thought that, this acknowledgement of body shaming and things like that might get her the award. I still think it might, but I think it's going to Millie.
All right.
I don't watch Handmaid's Tale because I don't have Hulu.
Samira Wiley's really good in it. She's effective. She's weirdly structured into the season, and that she's very loaded in the front end and then shows up a little bit towards the end of the season. She's very good in the show, but...
What about Ann Dowd?
Ann Dowd is also very good in the show. Ann Dowd is sort of the matronly... What are you talking? She's like the tool of the patriarchy that trains these women, and she's the basically like the female warden of the re-education camps.
One more thing on this category real fast. Uzo Aduba.
Yeah.
Remember, she is nominated for or Orange is the New Black from a year ago, not the one that was just this past June, which that's the one where you get her backstory.
Oh, okay.
And it's actually a very powerful performance. So I have no problem with her being nominated. If it was for this season, I would have a problem with her being nominated. I'm also a little tired of her being the only actress from that show who gets nominated. I think there are other people, and I know Kate Mulgrew got nominated, I think, after the first season, but I think there are other people giving as good, if not better, performances. Supporting actor in a drama, John Lithgow, The Crown, Jonathan Banks, Better Call Saul, Mandy Patinkin, Homeland, Michael Kelly, House of Cards, David Harbour, Stranger Things, Ron Cephas Jones, This Is Us, Jeffrey Wright, Westworld. The buzz has been about Lithgow. I know he plays Churchill.
Yeah, and if he wins this will probably be the first category because we're thinking maybe The Crown's gonna clean up a little bit this year.
Maybe you are.
I don't know. I could see them giving it to Lithgow. It's an easy checkbox.
I actually think this is the Crown's award. I think this is what the Crown wins for.
You think it's the only one? I think
of the ones that we're going to talk about, maybe I'll get some. I
think Claire
maybe I'll get a writing thing.
I think Claire Foy's got strong good there. Okay,
we'll get to that. But Lithgow, I think this could be. Plus, they love Lithgow. They used to give him Emmys all the time for Third Rock from the Sun.
It's a funny show.
It is a funny show.
It's a very funny show.
This category also has my biggest snub, which is Michael McKean for Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
Which I think he gave such a brilliant performance.
And Jonathan Banks is good, but he's we kind of missed that window.
Yeah, I think Banks should have won this for his first season, where we do the whole episode that we get like kind of why he moved to Albuquerque thing. And even Peter Dinklage, when Peter Dinklage won his second Emmy that year, he even got up there and basically said he thought Jonathan Banks was going to win.
This season we had a lot of Jonathan Banks driving onto empty highways and doing mysterious things that don't make sense to the last scene of the episode.
I don't think Jeffrey Wright.
Nah.
I don't think David Harbour. He was the big surprise nominee. Nobody expected him to get in.
Yeah, but it's one of those performances where he's just... It's an important performance for the show, but it doesn't seem like a tough one. Like he's just playing the strong cop.
I agree, and I would say the same thing about Winona Ryder on the show.
But she has a lot more crying.
She didn't get nominated, though.
Yeah.
So, I think, though, him being nominated shows a lot of Stranger Thing love that we didn't realize was there. So I think that's interesting, and that could be a harbinger of things to come. Ron Cephas Jones was great on This Is Us. And do you care about a This Is Us spoiler?
Yeah. No.
Spoiler.
And by yes, I mean no.
Spoiler, this would be his only chance of winning for This Is Us.
Does he not make it to the end of the episode? Series?
No, but when you meet him at the beginning of this, the first episode, he's terminal, basically. But he's terrific on it. And he's one of those character actor kinds of... I could see an upset. I mean, This Is Us is a very beloved show, but I think it's Lithgow.
There you go.
Limited series actress. And the nominees are Carrie Coon, Fargo, Felicity Huffman, American Crime, Nicole Kidman, Big Little Lies, Jessica Lange, Feud, Susan Sarandon, Feud, Reese Witherspoon, Big Little Lies. This is an extremely competitive category.
Yeah, how many of these people have won Oscars? Well, not Carrie Coon, not Felicity Huffman.
Reese Witherspoon's won an Oscar, Nicole Kidman's won an Oscar, Susan Sarandon's won an Oscar, Jessica Lange has 2 Oscars.
There you go.
That's a lot of Oscars.
That's a lot of Oscars. And it's funny that the show Feud about these 2 actresses that went up against each other the whole career now have to duke it out at the Emmys.
So what I've basically been trying to think is, I've been trying to narrow it down between like one for, because Carrie Coon is one of my favorite actresses working today. She should be nominated for The Leftovers, but she's not going to win. Felicity Huffman's not going to win. So then I've been trying to think, okay, Kidman or Witherspoon, they're going to go more Kidman.
Really? Because so far from what I've seen, I think Witherspoon's giving a better performance.
I actually, for a while, thought Kidman might be put in supporting actress.
Okay.
And I actually, if she was, it would be a no-brainer. But you haven't seen Kidman. Here's the thing.
I've been told sort of what's coming, but I still am enjoying. Reese Witherspoon just has a way of commanding the screen in whatever she's doing.
I I might enjoy Reese Witherspoon more, in performance more, because I think it's different, but Kidman, they're going to go more Kidman. But then I've been trying to think Lang or Sarandon, and I think they would go Lang because as sad as both Betty Davis and Joan Crawford are, Joan Crawford's a little sadder.
Oh.
So I think they'd go Lang. So now I'm trying to decide between Jessica Lange and Nicole Kidman. This is a tough category. I'm gonna go with... oh, fuck. Who are you going with?
Witherspoon. I'm operating under partial information here. Once again.
I'm going to...
not see Feud.
I'm going to go... Feud's very good. I'm going to go with... with Jessica Lange.
All right, there we go.
I'm going to go with Hollywood rewarding things about Hollywood.
Okay.
But I would not be...
she's been working with Ryan Murphy for several years now, whereas Sarandon was just brought in for this one season.
Although I think it's a coin toss between her and Nicole Kidman.
Now, you don't think anyone's canceling each other out here?
No, because I think more people will lean towards Kidman than Witherspoon if they're Big Little Lies people, and I think more people will lean towards Lang with Feud.
Okay, there you have it.
Limited series actor, and the nominees are Riz Ahmed, The Night Of, Benedict Cumberbatch, Sherlock, The Lying Detective, Robert De Niro, The Wizard of Lies, Ewan McGregor, Fargo, Jeffrey Rush, Genius, John Turturro, The Night Of.
All right, let's just put this out here that no one saw Genius, so let's move on from that. Now, it's interesting that Turturro is getting a lead role here as not a supporting role here for The Night Of.
I bet you their screen time is close to comparable.
Yeah.
This is tough. I think this will be the award The Night Of gets because Ewan McGregor played two people on Fargo, but I don't think people are like as wowed by it. Not in the age of Tatiana Maslany. Cumberbatch has won this before.
Yeah, and the only reason he might possibly win again is because people are fucking lazy.
I think this award goes to Riz Ahmed.
See, I think it goes to John Turturro.
I would have no problem with either of them winning.
I think Turturro gives a little bit more of the visceral performance, whereas Riz Ahmed, that first episode is fantastic, but then they transform his character too much too quickly and kind of make him unlikable. I get it. I get that's what the point is, how the system sort of grinds him down. But Turturro just is like the guy just doing the work. And his character has a lot more little grace notes than Riz Ahmed's does.
I think Riz Ahmed has going for him he's the
young hot thing.
Yeah, the Rami Malek maybe of this year kind of thing. And I think he's a better actor too.
Yeah.
I'm going Riz.
I'm going with Turturro.
Comedy actress. Yeah. And the nominees are, that was an interesting grumble. And the nominees are Pamela Alden, Better Things.
One of my parents' favorite shows.
Tracy Ellis Ross, Blackish.
One of my parents' favorite shows.
Jane Fonda, Grace and Frankie. Lily Tomlin, Grace and Frankie. Allison Janney, Mom. Ellie Kemper, Unbreakable, Kimmy Schmidt. Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Veep.
All right, what are we going to do with this category?
Now, here's the thing. We've got some people going for some records here in this category, too. I think Julia Louis-Dreyfus will tie like a record for most wins if she wins. Or she'll I think she'll break a record for most wins for like the same show.
Is that Candice Bergen?
I wish I could remember the information or should have written it down. But also, Allison Janney's going for a record amount of Emmy wins, too, overall.
But she's been spread out over the years. Has Mom won?
Allison Janney has won. Here's what's interesting. Up until this season, Allison Janney... Supporting, and would win for supporting. She's also won for The West Wing. Julia Louis-Dreyfus has also won for Seinfeld and The New Adventures of Old Christine. This is Veep's 6th season. She has won for the first 5 seasons, Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Can they do it again?
I'm picking her. I mean, I feel like you have to pick Julia Louis-Dreyfus until she loses.
Or dies.
Yeah, I mean, one of the
But you don't think anyone else... Okay, so once again, the question is, anyone watching Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt? Pleasure to be nominated.
I think Ellie Kemper is doing great work.
I know, but like Julia Louis-Dreyfus work? I
think if you're going for pure comedic laughs, Ellie Kemper's character on Kimmy Schmidt is just as good.
This past season of Veep was a little more bitter.
Yeah.
She was kind of unlikable this season.
Well, the question is, how tired are people of politics? Because this is a very political show.
Right.
I think not enough to just check her name.
I don't
off.
believe Julie Louis-Dreyfus. I don't believe there's enough wood in the world for a fireplace mantle that is heavy enough to support this many Emmys.
I mean, she turns
This is a
her
lumber
wins
problem.
She turns her wins into bits. We've talked about this before.
But, she needs a steel reinforced frame there for all these awards.
I think there is a chance Tracy Ellis Ross could win.
You think so?
Network show. I think if anyone's going to give Julia a run for her money, network show. There's also the.
She won the Golden Globe.
She won the Golden. Was it the Golden Globe? Yeah, the Golden Globe. There's also the historical nature of this is a award that black women historically don't even get nominated in.
Yeah.
So I don't know. She could, but I am going Julia Louis-Dreyfus. I'm going to keep picking her until she loses.
All right, fine. I'm begrudgingly backing up that endorsement.
Best actor in a comedy.
Julie Louis-Dreyfus.
The nominees are Anthony Anderson, Blackish, Aziz Ansari, Master of None, Zach Galifianakis, Baskets, Donald Glover, Atlanta, William H. Macy, Shameless, Jeffrey Tambor, Transparent.
How is Shameless considered a comedy?
I don't know. I don't watch it. I watched it a little bit when it first started, and I did not care for it.
Okay, so last year Jeffrey Tambor won for this.
He's won twice, I believe.
Okay. Aziz Ansari, people like that show, but once again, it's the issue of Aziz being too much like Aziz Ansari, and do they recognize it as a performance?
That's the show, like it has in the past, that wins the writing nominations kind of thing. It's like Louis in that way. It's
Yeah.
very much like Louis would never win Best Comedy Actor, but he would always win a writing or directing thing. And I certainly think some of those Master of None episodes this season deserve to win directing awards.
Right. I am going to say it's going to be Donald Glover for Atlanta.
I'm agreeing with you. I think this is the award Atlanta gets, and this is they might also win a writing or directing award, but I think this is their big award for the night. This is their way of rewarding that show and
Which is a phenomenal show.
Rewarding Donald Glover.
Also, one of my parents' favorite shows, Atlanta.
I think this is his to lose. Yeah, I mean, I guess Tambor could win again, but I don't think so.
No.
I also think there's been a little bit of a backlash, not on Tambor, but on, like, getting trans people to play trans people.
Yes.
So I think that works against him, although I don't think anyone holds any of that against Jeffrey Tambor.
And also, it's almost like he got grandfathered into this role before it became as much of a flashpoint.
Okay. Drama actor. And the nominees are Sterling K. Brown, This Is Us. Anthony Hopkins, Westworld. Bob Odenkirk, Better Call Saul. Matthew Rhys, The Americans. Liev Schreiber, Ray Donovan. How's he always get in there? Who's watching
One of
Ray
my parents'
Donovan?
favorite shows.
Kevin Spacey, House of Cards. Milo Ventimiglia,
This Is
Us.
This is sort of a mixed bag category here, or a bunch of nominees. Let's just say we love The Americans. We love Matthew Rhys. Last season was terrible.
Last season, The Americans.
And not for anything they did.
Yeah.
They were all bringing their A game as they always do.
What went wrong?
Well, we did spend 15 minutes of the premiere episode digging a hole in the dark.
The other thing is, and then like people celebrated the digging of that hole.
Oh,
I listened to a whole podcast
about the mechanics of digging of a hole. I know so much about digging a hole now.
The other thing,
How to shoot digging a hole, if I actually want to dig a hole.
The Americans, and it's very telling, it didn't get nominated for series, where it got in last year, and usually once, especially when you're towards the end of your run, once you get in, you're in. But it did not get in, and I think it's because people acknowledged it was a boring season where there were these plot lines.
Well, he went to Kansas a lot.
Well, yeah, but these plot lines that never went anywhere. His son coming to America?
No, he didn't make it there, really.
Oh, my God.
He got rejected by some woman in Kansas. Sorry, not Canada, Kansas.
It was by far the worst season of that show.
But Elizabeth learned Tai Chi.
I mean, I'm obviously going to watch it because there's one more season.
Right.
But if that had been the first season of that show, if it was like that, I never would have stuck with it.
Nah. So you think Sterling K. Brown has a good shot here for This Is Us?
Yes. He won last year for OJ.
In a supporting miniseries category.
Yes. He's basically, I think he's giving the best performance on This Is Us. His character deals with like a lot of anxiety things. It's a very real character too. He's very it's a very likable show.
Kevin Spacey is President Frank Underwood, or Anthony Hopkins as Weirdo Inventor Man #1.
Don't you think Spacey's time is probably past? If he was ever going to win, he was going to win years ago. I'm surprised he still gets nominated. Maybe I'm not surprised.
He's getting Amy Pollard in this category.
But you don't think he should win, do you?
No, maybe for the first season, and that's it.
Anthony Hopkins, I don't see winning either.
Anthony Hopkins showed up on set so he can keep making those mortgage payments on his Malibu home.
And then he showed up in the same exact outfit in the Transformers movie.
Well, listen, he had to make that balloon payment on the Malibu home.
He was like going like from set to set, like I feel like probably delivering the same exact lines.
He didn't know where he was. He thought he was back in Somerset, England.
Is Anthony Hopkins somehow back next season of Westworld? I know he meets a...
No. I mean, somehow Colin Firth is back in Kingsman 2, so who the hell knows?
Yeah, that's driving me a little crazy. We'll talk about that next week, actually, on our next week's episode. In my opinion, Bob Odenkirk.
Yeah, he should, because that show is like this weird little gem that I adore, and I don't know why it's so good. And it's not that it's this transcendent, life-changing show, but every week I have to watch it. Like the only two shows that I have to watch when a new episode drops is Game of Thrones and Better Call Saul.
Yeah, those are two.
Because I'm just like so invested in these weird little characters and this world that you've been living in now for like 10 years because of Breaking Bad.
I think they're going to ham Odenkirk. I think Odenkirk's not going to get... I think he's going to get an award for this eventually.
Yeah.
Because they seem to really like the show. But I think they're not going to give it to him till a later season, till where they know this thing's ending.
Yeah, like where's this going?
I think it's Sterling K. Brown. I mean, I guess there's an argument where Milo could, they could cancel each other out. But I don't think people are that crazy about Milo.
I mean, let's got a lot of heroes' heads out there.
Heroes' heads. Best actress in a drama.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
And the nominees are Viola Davis, How to Get Away with Murder.
And she won 2 years ago?
She won 2 years ago. Because last year's winner, Tatiana Maslany,
is all we need to say about that.
Is not eligible this year.
Because she's dead.
I think I wonder if she'll get nominated next year or if Orphan Black will be too much of a forgotten thing, probably. The other nominees, though.
Yeah.
Claire Foy, The Crown.
There we go.
Elizabeth Moss, The Handmaid's Tale. Kerry Russell, The Americans. Evan Rachel Wood, Westworld. Robin Wright, House of Cards. Again, I've heard some people say Robin Wright could finally win this year. I feel, again, her time has passed. House of Cards' time has passed. I'm going all in on Elizabeth Moss here.
I really love Claire Foy, but I think you're right. Handmaid's Tale is phenomenal. I know you didn't see it, but Elizabeth Moss is just the best thing about that show. She's so good, and that show has lodged into the cultural imagination in a way that The Crown hasn't. Like, The Crown is like our new Downton Abbey. It's like, oh, it's British, and it's lovely, and, it's historical.
The Handmaid's Tale also...
A little more relevant.
Yeah, political in the right kind of way. Also, that
you mean the story of a born into a wealthy family and an entitled hereditary position girl in the 1950s doesn't speak to our current political moment?
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Also, I think there's a lot of... Oh, we never gave her an award for Mad Men?
Yeah.
Like, that seems weird. We better give her one.
How did the Jews fuck this one up?
So...
Could her Scientology work against her?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think people care that much. She's not like running around jumping on couches like Tom Cruise. No. I feel like she's more quiet about her Scientology. So I think it's Elizabeth Moss. Let me get into my Crown theory here, since we're talking about Claire Foy. The Crown was really talked about for
like a month.
And that month was back in November when it came out. And this is, I think, the uphill battle that Netflix always has to fight. Yes, Handmaid's Tale was on Hulu, but they released it week after week after
Right.
week. So you talked about Handmaid's Tale for 10 weeks.
Right.
This Is Us. You talked about it for 22 weeks. You know, or longer, actually. The Crown, it's like, and I noticed they were smart to drop the trailer for season 2 while voting's going on. But The Crown, it's like...
Also, The Crown is the kind of show, it's a light show. It's like champagne. It just goes down smooth and quick.
The problem with Netflix is they build this buzz, and the buzz kind of goes away.
Yeah.
For example, next year, will people still be talking about Glow? They should, but will they? You know,
If Glow season 2 comes out right on
they're
time.
gonna have to do that. They're gonna have to put it out before. So it's very tricky.
Mark Maron's gonna have to leave that garage real fast.
Elizabeth Moss.
Yeah, I agree.
Limited series, and the nominees are Big Little Lies, Fargo, Feud, Betty and Joan, The Night of, Genius.
Once again, no one saw Genius, so let's scratch that one.
You know who I wish had gotten in here and they wouldn't have won? The Young Pope. And I wish Jude Law had gotten nominated.
Yes.
I thought that was actually the best performance of Jude Law's career.
Not Don Hemingway?
I love Don Hemingway. I think that's a great underrated
And
film.
him playing Dickie Greenleaf in The Sounds of Mr.
He's
Ripley?
great in Dickie Greenleaf. I stand by my
The Young Pope got robbed. So, screw you, Genius.
Now I know I keep suddenly like leaning towards these Feud people.
Yeah.
But here I think Big Little Lies wins this. I think it's a little bit more of a revered series even in terms of who made it. I think it's going to win some, although I was picking Lang in like in acting categories and stuff. I think this Big Little Lies is going to win writing awards for like David E. Kelly and directing
And also, people
for
are still talking about it.
What's his name? Dallas Buyers Club director.
Oh,
Wild
Mark
director.
Valle.
Yeah.
Yeah. People are still, and the reason why I just started watching it recently is because people are still talking about it, and it's like, did you see that? Like, that was really good. Other than you, I don't know anyone that's speaking about Feud, you know?
Yeah.
And The Night of, came out too long ago, where people that were interested in that have already seen it. Big Little Lies has a little bit more of a populist appeal.
Fargo's won before.
Yeah, and Fargo, I haven't even watched season 3 yet. Like,
It's good.
Yeah, but it's...
You'll like it.
I know I will. It wasn't... I kind of backburned it because I had other stuff going on, so...
So we both saying Big Little Lies?
I think so.
All right.
Those white wine swilling wives of Monterey are in for some hardware this fall.
Nominees for Best Comedy Series are Atlanta, Blackish, Master of None, Modern Family, Silicon Valley, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, Veep.
And last year was Veep.
The year before it was Veep.
Well, but last year was interesting because they had switched showrunners, and David Mandel was running the show now.
Yeah.
So people were not certain if the streak would continue. So yeah, Veep's won how many years in a row now?
2.
Okay.
I'm picking it for a third.
You are.
Again, it's the same thing of I'm going with the hot hand. If I'm going to pick Julia, I'm going to pick Veep. I wouldn't be shocked if like Atlanta won.
Yeah.
But I think it's that kind of thing that they're like Donald Glover winning Best Actor is its reward.
I want Atlanta to win really badly, so I'm going to lean towards that, but I think you're right about Veep winning it for another year.
You know what show I fucking love? Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
I feel like that should have won a couple years ago.
Missed its window.
I think it has. I think it's missed its window because I don't.
You know what I'd like to see in this? Rick and Morty. Where's some goddamn Rick and Morty in this category? Never getting nominated.
They don't really nominate animated.
Well, has The Simpsons? The Simpsons has been.
I believe so.
Have they ever won for best animated show, best comedy?
No.
Are you kidding me?
It's one animated show like a
No,
shit ton of times.
but come on. Last season, let's do the right thing. The Simpsons, come on.
That would
It'll be like
interesting.
35 years on the air. What are you doing, come on.
I was thinking about that the other day. Quick sidebar. I was thinking about The Simpsons. And, like, is it going to end anytime soon?
I mean, not for the next 2 to 3 years. I mean, until a major cast member dies, that show will continue on because all it does is print.
that too.
That's it. Because all it does is print money, and The Simpsons at this point is a goddamn American institution on par with McDonald's and Apple Computers and like I don't even know AT&T. I don't even that because that's still like American Airlines. Like The Simpsons is core America and Starbucks. It's like Starbucks, McDonald's, The Simpsons. Like that's, and Coca-Cola.
Anything else you want to throw into that list?
Unilever. No, actually, it's a British company. No, but I mean, The Simpsons is at that level of just global cultural awareness.
They have no reason to end it.
No.
It's too much of a money machine still,
Yeah.
even.
And these people, Dan Castellaneta walks into a booth for 90 minutes a week and walks away with like $500,000.
Okay, I guess The Simpsons will never... But I mean, it has to end sometime.
When somebody dies.
Yeah, I guess they'd have to. But what would suck about that...
Look at the Mexican Homer to what?
is the thing, what would suck about...
is that it's going to stop.
Yes. That's the thing. I would rather them say we're going to go out on season 30 or something.
I mean, that's how they should do it.
And then, like, we're just going to end it.
Because at this point, you know what it is? It's Bill Belichick against, like, the Jets. He's just fucking running up the scoreboard at this point. Like, they're not going to end it if they don't have to.
All right. So we're both saying Veep.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I would love to see Atlanta win.
Nominees for Best Drama Series are Better Call Saul, The Crown, The Handmaid's Tale, House of Cards, Stranger Things, This Is Us, Westworld.
All right. Solid category.
Of course, I foolishly was buying into the theory the leftovers would sneak in here because it was, I mean, everyone was buzzing about their final season.
Yeah, all 900,000 viewers.
Yeah, well, you know, a lot of those viewers are probably Emmy voters.
Yeah. Yeah, Damon Lindelof.
And it did have an amazing finale, but enough about that. Things that are actually nominated.
Not things that mysteriously disappeared off the face of the earth.
I mean, what's funny is of these, by far my favorite show of these is Better Call Saul.
And Game of Thrones was not eligible for last year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder if Game of Thrones now has won all it's ever going to win.
This season, we'll see how it ends up. But, you know, I mean, we could still keep that streak going.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
I've already basically made my argument against The Crown.
Yeah. And I don't think Westworld's going to win. I think
Westworld is like, HBO wants it to be like the new Game of Thrones, and I don't think, as far as awards goes, it's going to.
maybe next season if it snaps into focus a little more next season, it could have a better shot. But I feel like this first season was a little too sprawling and scattershot.
Have you seen the trailer for next season?
Yeah, it's just a bunch of faces.
I think it looks fun.
Yeah, well, all trailers look fun.
That's not
That's
true.
the art of making a trailer.
Yeah, well, I've seen some pretty bad trailers.
Well.
Oh.
The Secret Life of Walter Mitty does not count as one.
So I think this is going to come down to 3 shows.
Okay.
Handmaid's Tale, which I think is probably too heavy.
But I'm kind of leaning towards that.
This Is Us. And here's why. And I'm going with This Is Us before I start to make the argument for our third show here. But I'm going with This Is Us because it's the first network show nominated
Since the 1970s.
since The Good Wife. And before that, who even fucking knows?
ER.
It's a show that hits all the quadrants. Everybody likes it. You watch it, you like it. It's something they could easily check off, like, oh, I do like this. Like, but I like This Is Us. I always enjoy that. Yeah. And it's a well-made show.
The Modern Family argument.
Yes. It's legitimately a well-made show. Like, you get emotionally invested in these characters. And I think that there'll be some way, like, oh, there's finally a network show worthy of rewarding. Here's the argument against This Is Us. It is not nominated for any directing or writing awards. And
is that usually a barometer?
Yeah. Now, the people have been saying they submitted too many.
Okay.
They submitted a ton of shit.
Well, because they have 47 episodes per season.
They should have just submitted the pilot and the episode Memphis.
Okay.
Those are the 2 they should have submitted. Instead, they submit a bunch of stuff, probably cancel each other out. Which is why I don't necessarily know if that's going to be a barometer. Stranger Things now.
Yeah.
I could see a Stranger Things upset. It's the hot show. It's the cool show. It's
People are excited about it coming back.
People are very excited about it. Everybody, unlike some of these other Netflix shows, I think we are still weirdly talking about Stranger Things.
Yeah. Because
And
those poor kids have been trotted out every time 6 celebrities get together. Those kids need to be there.
yeah,
There's a lunch at the Ivy. Those kids need to be there performing.
I think Stranger Things could upset.
Yeah.
I think people like it, and I think people genuinely watched it. Like, it's not like, do we know whether people watched it or not, Netflix thing. I think people actually watched Stranger Things. I know people that I never would have thought would be watching Stranger Things watch Stranger Things. So what are you saying?
Handmaid's Tale, the one thing I think knocking against it also is that it's Hulu, which hasn't really been a player so far in any of these categories. I'm going to say Stranger Things, actually.
Okay.
I think so. I think Netflix is just coming out. They've never won Best Drama for one of their shows.
No.
This would be a huge statement for Netflix. They've played it right with this show, with these characters, with these kids. The show is pretty universally beloved, and the backlash was kind of quick and burnt out, and now people are just excited for the next season.
Yeah. And there's clearly love for it.
Yeah.
David Harbour getting in there shows there's love for it.
I'm going to go with Stranger Things for winner. You're going to say This Is Us.
I'm going to say This Is Us.
Okay.
I thought This Is Us early on, and I'm going to stick with my gut. So, Sean, every year,
Yeah.
you come over, you watch the Emmys with me.
Every award show. We got a ritual 3 times a year.
Yeah, and it's always
Tonys,
so much fun.
Grammys, People's Choice Award.
And I always love having you over to watch the Emmys. And this year, I'm so excited about so many things. Like I said, there's some tough guys. That actress in limited series, like, who the fuck's going to win that? I mean, there's some exciting things. Well, guess what? I'm not going to be missing the Emmys. I am going to miss the Emmys this year. How is this possible? I watch them every year. You know why? Because I'm going to fucking London. That's why. I've decided to leave the country.
Like an idiot.
The siren song of London has called me to come forward. And what's going to happen? I'm giving up all these responsibilities. I'm supposed to watch it, and I'm supposed to come here and then talk about it, and I'm not doing it. Instead, we have that usurper, Stephen Brandon, is going to be here in my place, thinking he can talk about this shit without me. It's a bunch of bullshit. And what am I going to do? Does London even have the Emmys? Can you see the Emmys in London? I don't think so. Probably not, because of fucking time difference, and that's why you, London, are this week's enemy of the podcast. Go fuck yourself. How dare you make me leave during Emmy season?
I can't wait for that morning because the results, it'll be happening. Let's see, the show will be playing out around 3 a.m. England time.
Yeah.
So you're not staying up to watch on Twitter what's winning. So you're going to have to go to sleep.
I mean, there is a chance I stagger in.
No, but if you just go to sleep and wake up at 6 a.m., it's not like you're going to miss anything. It's not like you just go to sleep not knowing the answer and you'll wake up and the first thing you'll find out. Like, don't be dumb and stay up all night just to see whether or not
I'm not going to.
This
I don't
is
think
us one.
physically I'd be able to.
No, but you're gonna miss. So you're gonna TiVo it. So you're gonna watch the show. But is it gonna kill you to have to read about? Now, who's hosting this year? It's
Isn't it Colbert?
Yeah. So is it gonna kill you to be reading these reviews of how the show was?
Well, I'm never gonna watch it.
You don't think you're gonna watch just for the bits and the shtick?
I might watch the bits. I'm not gonna record it. I'll watch the bits and the shtick online.
Okay.
I mean, look, what's going to happen is I'm going to wake up early that morning, and while I'm eating my fucking tea and crumpet, I'll be looking at my phone.
Fingers and mash.
I'll be looking at my, I'll be seeing the results.
You'll be fine. And Steven is going to do a fantastic job sitting in for you.
Usurper.
Yeah.
Actually, this is a bit of a lie. This is only going to be the second Emmy telecast I ever missed. The lie being I missed in 2001 when they...
Because of 9/11?
Yeah.
Oh.
They pushed the Emmys back, and then it coincided with Game 7 of the Yankees Diamondbacks World Series.
How'd that end up?
I should have watched the Emmys.
Another usurper.
Anything else?
The Diamondbacks, if they had any sense, they would have thrown that World Series because New York needed it.
It was the one time everyone was rooting for the Yankees.
Not anymore. It's
Um,
gonna be a good show.
It probably is. There are some legit, with Game of Thrones out of the mix, it makes things exciting.
No Mr. Robot.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be good. So without me, what are you gonna do? You gonna watch it? Where are you gonna watch it?
Probably in my room here. Sad on my little TV. hoping that my, because I got those little digital antenna, hope that doesn't crap out on me. No, maybe I'll go to my parents' house and, fire up the Spectrum over there. No, they got DirecTV.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'll do. I'll figure it out.
Okay.
I'm not going to like a bar anywhere. Like they can't do it there. It's got to be.
You can't watch.
It's got to be a small group or by myself. Like that's how I got to do it.
Yeah. So I think that's it.
That's it. So next week, what do we have coming up?
Next week, it's just you and me again.
Yes.
We're doing the fall movie preview. This is just the way everything.
From now on, there are no more guests. It's just us.
Well, the week after that, we're going to have Misha Fisher.
And he's a good guest.
He is a good guest. He came on a long time ago to promote storytelling shows he ran, but he's out of storytelling business.
He's out of the business.
And now he's in the stand-up comedy business.
Oh, even better.
So we're going to talk about, like, the differences in that and his transition, and also why he gave up a lot of what he was doing. Spoiler alert, it involves Donald Trump.
He's also going to compliment myself and Will quite a bit, so I look forward to that.
Yes.
He's a big fan of ours.
I had dinner with him recently, and it was all compliments the whole time. And then also, speaking of TV, he was like, Will Link, I don't watch The Leftovers. I feel like I would have liked it. Can you just tell me everything that happened in the finale? And I sat there for a half hour while he sat riveted as I told him everything. And I kept saying, like, this is taking a while. Are you sure? He's like, please continue. And he ate it up. So I love Misha Fisher.
All right. And on that note, anything else?
No.
All right. For the Will Link.
Oh, we didn't, at the real Will Link. At the real Will Link.
And at the Sean David. Just find us on social media.
Yeah, and this is a messy episode.
Whatever. It always is when we don't have a guest. For the Will Sean Podcast, I'm Sean David.
I'm Will Link.
We're finished.
We're finished.